I never believed in jinn stories. I used to laugh at my grandmother whenever she told us tales about them. To me, they were just bedtime stories meant to scare kids. But last year, something happened that changed everything. It started with a sound. I moved into an old apartment in a quiet neighborhood for college. The rent was cheap, and the place seemed fine. It was small, with peeling paint and creaky floors, but I didn't care. I wanted to live alone and have peace to focus on my studies. The first night was quiet. The second night, I heard it. A whisper. At first, I thought I was imagining it. It was faint, like someone murmuring just outside my window. I looked outside, nothing. The street was empty. I told myself it was the wind and went to bed. But the whispers came back the next night. This time, they were closer. They came from the walls. I started losing sleep. The whispers weren't clear, but they sounded like words I couldn't understand, a strange language. Sometimes it felt like someone was standing behind me. I turned around quickly, but no one was there. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I shouted at the empty room. "Who's there? What do you want?" The whispers stopped. I felt stupid. Maybe I was just stressed out. I cleaned up my room that evening, trying to distract myself. While dusting the bookshelf, I found something I hadn't noticed before, a small, crumpled piece of paper wedged into the corner of a shelf. It was dirty and torn. There were strange symbols scribbled on it. Some of it looked like Arabic, but I couldn't read it. My stomach dropped. Something about it felt wrong. I decided to throw it out. I grabbed it, stuffed it in a plastic bag, and tossed it into the dumpster outside. That night was the worst. I woke up at 3 a.m. to the sound of knocking. It wasn't on my door, it was on my bedroom wall. Knock. 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 The whispers came again, louder this time, like someone was speaking right into my ear. I froze, too scared to move. My room felt heavy, like the air was being sucked out. I tried to recite Ayatul Kursi, something my mother always told me to do when I was scared. My voice shook, but I kept going. The whispers grew quieter, then stopped. The next morning, I went straight to the mosque. I told the imam everything. He listened carefully and nodded. He said, "This isn't something to ignore. Sometimes jinn are drawn to certain places or objects. That paper you found, it may have been connected to them." He gave me advice: keep my place clean, play Quran recitations, and always say my prayers. I followed everything he said. I played Surah Al-Baqarah in my room every day, and slowly, the whisper stopped. The feeling of someone watching me disappeared. I moved out a few months later, and I never went back. I don't laugh at my grandmother's stories anymore. I learned the hard way that jinn are real, and we should never mess with things we don't understand. Always keep your connection with Allah strong, because you never know what might be lurking where you can't see. If you ever find strange objects, symbols, or experience anything unusual, don't ignore it. Seek help from someone knowledgeable, like an imam or a religious scholar. Keep your home spiritually clean with regular prayers and Quran recitations. Remember, your faith and connection with Allah are your strongest protection. May Allah guide us, Amin.